Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope all of you are doing super well. It's kind of been a hot minute since I've actually sat down and made a video talking about any of my passions or my hobbies, and I used to love doing it, but I think the last video I put up was like a year ago, so that's crazy. But I'm back, at least for now. And I thought it'd be fun to do a video kind of talking about my last, next, current, no wait, that's not the right order. Rewind. My last, current, and next reads. So here I am. I just had an allergy attack before I started filming this. My allergies are so bad. It's like around this time, the summer allergies are coming, and I'm just not, I'm not doing well. I'm also very full, and I feel like I might burp randomly, so please don't be scared if that happens. Anyway, I don't know why I'm actually talking about this. I'm just gonna get right into talking about these books because I'm really excited to. I've been getting kind of my groove back with reading. I think school really took a toll on me, and I wasn't reading for enjoyment. I mean, I was reading for my classes and stuff, but just not for pure enjoyment, and that's what I've been trying to do recently. And I've been having such a great time, so I feel motivated to make a video about it. So yeah, I'm gonna start off with my last read or reads. I have two here. I couldn't pick which one I wanted to talk about because I would like to kind of talk about both. So the first one is Just Kids by, oh wow, the light really reflects this. Just Kids by Patti Smith. I have been wanting to read this for such a long time now. I didn't really know much about Patti Smith, but I was always very intrigued by her and her work. And I always just heard lots and lots of great things about this book, so I wanted to get my hands on it. Actually, it's in here. My lovely boyfriend actually gifted this book to me, and I was very, very, very happy and excited to now own it. But yeah, I really, really, really loved this book, or this memoir, I guess you could say. Like I said before, I didn't really know much about Patti Smith, but I think even still now after reading this, there's still so much more I want to learn and know about her, and I really want to go into a whole deep dive of learning about her and going over her music and her poetry and just her whole creative masterpiece. Oh, I just hit my fan. I don't even know where I was going with that, but I think this was just a really, really beautiful memoir, one that I was just completely entranced with. I think I honestly didn't want to put this down at points because there was just so much that was going on, but it was also just so authentic and real. Just her talking about her life and her struggles and what she had to go through, especially with her partner and best friend Robert, who you understand and get to know a bit about in this story as well, because this book kind of follows not just her life, it also follows her life with Robert, who she meets in New York. It's just really beautiful. It's very well done. She's very precise with trying to really encapsulate what happened, and I feel like sometimes it feels like you're really just right there with her, experiencing whatever it is that she's going through. There's lots of great music references and artists in here that it's kind of crazy to think oh wow, she interacted with this person or that person. And I don't know, this also takes place in the 60s and then going into the early 70s, so life was very different back then, especially taking place in New York City. It was just, I don't know, it was just really, really cool to read about. And yeah, I don't really want to say too much because I really just think, obviously I'm not going to spoil anything here. I'm not a buzzkill like that. I would really, really highly recommend this, even if you don't really know much about Patti Smith, or maybe you're not even a big fan or anything. I think this is just a really great love story in a way, and it's not just a love story between herself and Robert, but it's a love for creativity and her work and wanting to make something of herself. There's a lot of love in that aspect as well, which I think was just really beautiful, and her writing is just so well done, and it's just, the whole thing was really, really great. So I gave this a 5 out of 5 stars. There was like no other option. It was just so lovely, and I actually kind of want to reread it, because I just felt like I took a lot away from reading this, and those were the best kinds of books. So I was gonna throw it, but Patty deserves better than that. And then this is a book that I actually just finished the other day, and that is 1984 by George Orwell. It's kind of funny because the camera flips everything, so it's looking like 4891, but the 9's, yeah, I don't know. This is a book that I've always known about. It's like a pretty big classic. Most people have at least heard the name before, or at least George Orwell. Like, it's just a pretty popular, like, he's just a popular guy. I don't know. I don't know what I'm saying. I just know a lot of people like know of this book, but I didn't really know much about what it was about really, or the premise of it, so it was never something that was like on my radar necessarily. But then I found it in a bookstore for like $8 one day, and I thought, you know what? Why not? I've been really trying to like read more classics recently and kind of dive more into that realm of literature, so I decided, let's just read her and give it a go. And also, this is my boyfriend's favorite book, so I felt like it'd be kind of fun to read it, and then we could talk about it after, and which we did. So that was fun. But I really enjoyed this. I think I gave it like a 4 out of 5 stars, possibly like a 4.25. I don't know. I feel like this is a book that's been really like sitting in my mind a lot ever since I finished it, and even throughout reading it, I was always thinking about it whenever I wasn't reading it. So it definitely is something that you're constantly thinking about, because it's just such a like crazy and like almost horrifying environment. It's basically about this state called Oceania. I don't know if I'm actually saying that correctly. That's just how I was saying it in my head. But it's being like ruled by this party called, the hair in my mouth. Oh no, it's not going away. Okay. Oh my god, I'm such a mess every time in these videos. By this party named Big Brother, and it's a society where basically individuals can't be individuals. They're constantly being watched, examined. They can't really like, they're basically just forced to live how like the government or these higher powers want them to live, and just constantly being watched. There's really like nothing you can do about it, I suppose. But there's like these telescreens everywhere where they're like listening at you from. There's always helicopters flying around, and there's these people called the thought police that are always kind of like on alert, and they're like watching to see who's might be not following like the proper rules of the party, or might be like thinking against it, or so on and so forth. I'm not really explaining this well. You know what, if my boyfriend was here, I could sit him down and he could really just like give a good summary of what this is about, but he's not here. It's just me, so I don't want to go on anymore because I'm not making much sense. But it follows a guy named Winston, and he finds his diary and he starts writing this diary, and that's how it kind of starts. And you're just following this character as he starts to believe that maybe the party is not telling the truth about everything. And that's all I'm gonna say, because if I say any more, I'm probably gonna spoil something, and that's not what I want to do. But I also think this is a book that you should really go into as blind as possible, because I really had no idea what it was about, and every chapter I was like confused, shocked, a bit scared, honestly. So yeah, but a really great book. I'm so glad I got to read this, because it's been, I mean, everyone talks about it, and I've always been somewhat curious to an extent. So yeah, like I said, I gave this a 4 out of 5 stars. I'd also love if anyone who's read this book and is maybe watching this video, if you want to like comment or talk about like your thoughts on this book, or like what you took away from this, please do, because I don't know if this is something that everyone has like a very similar opinion on, or there's lots of different like ideas about like what it means, or I don't know, but I would love to hear anyone else's thoughts about it, because I think that would be really cool, because I definitely think it's one of those books where you could have long conversations about it. So I don't know. Anyway, moving on. The next thing why am I being so, I don't know, is my current read, which is Hello Beautiful by Anne Napolitano. Oh, I just can't pronounce names for whatever reason. I'm so sorry. I just know that's not correct. This has been a book that has been sitting on my shelf for quite a long time now, and I'm always looking at it thinking, wow, this is such a stunning cover. I love it. I think it's like a homage to Little Woman, and Little Woman's like my favorite book. It's my favorite movie. So it's always been sitting there, and I've always been like, I gotta read it. I gotta read it. I gotta read it. Yeah, I finally got home from my trip, and I was like trying to go through my books, seeing what I want to read. And I was like, you know what? This just feels like it's the right time. So I've begun reading it. I've only got to page 26, but I started reading it only today, and then I was quite busy for the day. But I plan to read more tonight, and so on and so forth. But so far all I know about this is that we're following a character named William, and I think we're also getting different POVs of some other characters, but he has kind of had an unfortunate childhood. His parents are pretty like neglectful and don't really give him much attention. He's always kind of grown up thinking that he's just almost invisible, and this is due to a tragic accident that happened to his sister, who he didn't even know because he was like only just a baby when it had happened. So his parents have kind of like shut themselves off from their own kid after losing another. It's just a very unfortunate situation, but he finds kind of love for other things like basketball, and he's been growing up and doing that, and that's like what he's found like his passion for and his love for, and he's almost like, if basketball is gone, I have nothing left. And then he meets a girl named Julie, who has a very different kind of family lifestyle compared to him. And she has like three other sisters. Yeah, three other sisters. They're very close, and her family just like looks a lot different. And now he's kind of been welcomed into the family because he's dating Julie. So that's actually all I've got from it so far. But on the back, it does say that when darkness from William's past resurfaces, jeopardizing not only Julia's carefully orchestrated plans for their future, but their sisters' unshakable devotion to one another, the result is a catastrophic family rift that changes their lives for generations. So obviously something's gonna happen. I don't know. That's just what it says on the back. But yeah, have always been really curious about this. Again, like I said, it's like a homage to Little Woman. And that is what kind of drew me in, essentially. So I'm really looking forward to continue to read this. The writing's really great. I'm liking like where the story's going. I like the kind of format of it. So yeah, this is what I'm currently reading, and I just scratched myself, okay. And I'm really excited about it. It's quite a big book as well. Like, well, it's pretty average, but I also think it's just huge. Maybe I'm just comparing it to the other books I've read where they're quite smaller, so I don't know, but yeah. Now on to next reads. This is something that I'm never sure of. I never know what my next read is going to be. I'm kind of a mess. I'm such a mood reader, so this is a little bit iffy, but these are just some books that I'm thinking that I want to get to, so this might be the next books I read. But I'm also very likely to go buy a book and then read that one, so I'm kind of just all over the place. However, I've picked 3 books here that have been sitting on my shelves. I want to get to them. Hopefully this will be soon. So the first one is Everything I Know About Parties, Dates, Friends, Jobs, Life, Love. But I guess more Everything I Know About Love, whatever. By Dolly Alderton, sorry. So this is a memoir. I don't actually really know who Dolly Alderton is, but I remember just hearing lots of great things about this book and really wanted to give it a go. I got to page like 38. I remember reading this when I was like 18, I think, maybe. I'm now 20, so quite a while ago. But I loved everything. Okay. This video is just literally going to fucking shit. Okay, we're just gonna take that ring off. But I remember loving everything that I was reading so far. I think it was just maybe at the time it wasn't right for me, but I know a lot of people really can find like a lot about themselves or find things for themselves in this book, because it's really just following her growing up and getting older and talking to boys and hanging out with friends and breakups and friend breakups, and it's just her kind of growing up in her life, that is always very interesting to read about, especially as a young woman who's constantly struggling with trying to fit in, to make friends, to want people to like me, to navigate boys and relationships. You know, I just think it's something that I feel like could be really fitting at this time in my life right now. And yeah, I remember also one of my favorite like YouTubers or booktubers, Steph Bohr. I remember she read this and absolutely adored it, and I just really trust her. I just really trust her a lot, so I really, really want to get to this. And I also think the cover is great. It's also a show, I believe, or that it came out as a show. It also says, like Bridget Jones' Diary, which I think could kind of be relatable because it's around the same thing where she's trying to figure out her life and is making wrong decisions and is navigating men and her friendships and all that stuff. So yeah, this is definitely one I would like to get to. Okay, and the last two I have are other classics, actually. One of them is Wuthering Heights by Emily Bronte. It's actually a sticker. I got this for $3 at one of my favorite bookstores where I go to school. Obviously, I'm not there right now because I'm home for the summer, but I can't wait to go back there when I go back to school. I also have a really great bookmark in here, but I have wanted to read this for a very long time, but ever since the movie came out and I just heard so many horrible things about the movie has made me want to read this so much more, so then I can watch the movie and make my own opinion about it. Yeah, so I don't really actually know what to say about this except that I just want to read it. I think the cover is also I just really like this like edition of it. I don't know. So yeah, I really can't wait to read this. This could possibly be my next read, just knowing like I'm really wanting to get to it, and every time I look at my shelf, I just feel like this is just like calling my name. I think I'm really in like my classic era right now. I want to read lots of classics. I want to understand the classics, almost like study the classics, which I'm kind of doing at school, but kind of not. I don't know, whatever. So this is definitely one that I think I could be reading next. I've heard the movie just doesn't really do it justice at all. And from what I've seen from the movie and what I've like just clips online, I could see how that could be the case. I feel like they've really sexualized a lot of things, and maybe it is like that in the book, but again, I don't know, so I guess we'll have to see. But I'm really, really, really excited to read this. Also, another classic that I have that I really need to finish, sorry, just thinking of this, is Jane Eyre. I think I got to page 100 because it was a book we needed to read for class, but I actually never finished it. Still made it through the class though, but that's another one that I really want to finish as well. And then lastly is Frankenstein, which first, I just want to like show you how beautiful this cover is, and it's like it's like textured as well. My brother actually gave this to me for Christmas, and like the edges are so beautiful and gold and shiny. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I actually didn't have much of an interest in reading this until I watched the movie. I really enjoyed the movie, but I always just hear people say it's just like the books are always better. That's what people say. And I just am so intrigued by this book because I was so intrigued by the movie, and I think the whole like concept of it and like the messages behind it are just so fascinating to me, and that's what I really took away from the movie, like all these hidden kind of messages about like human beings and our society and like what it even means to be a human. I don't know. It was just things I was like thinking a lot about after watching the movie. So this is horrible of me, but I didn't even know it was written by a woman. I had no idea. That might make me a horrible feminist or woman, I don't know. But I was very happy to hear this news. So yeah, this is another one that could also very well be the next book I read, because I'm so wanting to read it. I've just heard, well, actually, no, I haven't really heard much about people's opinions of this, but I'm sure it can't, I'm just like, surely it's good. I can't see how it couldn't be good. So, yeah. Yeah, that is the end of my rant. I don't know how it's already been like almost 23 minutes of me talking. I actually just can't shut up, it seems. But thank you so much for watching. I hope you didn't get too bored of my endless rambles, or I kind of felt like I'm always like steering off track, but the point of this was to just kind of show what I'm looking forward to reading, the things I've been reading recently that I've really loved, and then obviously what I'm reading right now. I think this is also a good way for me to kind of motivate myself to continue reading and like get out of my like reading slump sometimes, because it happens so often for me. So this is also kind of a helpful guide for me to continue with it, especially having some books lined up for me that I'm really wanting to, or I plan on reading. So yeah, I hope you all have a wonderful, beautiful, sexy rest of your day. You all deserve the freaking world, the sun, the moon, the universe, and yeah, I will catch you in my next video, whenever that will be.